Well, I'm shocked this morning, shocked and horrified. I don't know what the world's coming to. I normally don't buy a paper. I rely on my neighbours. And I read his paper when I'm lighting my fire. In arrears, you know, but it isn't old news if you don't know it. So I don't mind. £2.80 for a newspaper? Well, I was waiting for somebody this morning and I was waiting in my car, so I popped in and bought the paper. £2.80? When did that happen? Turkeys don't agree. Well, this isn't really what my channel's about, but I can't keep my mouth shut about this one. I'm really quite upset about it. So I'm pretty well horrified. After 60 years of loyal service as lady in waiting to the late Queen, this poor lady has resigned, and she will have been of exemplary character and exemplary morals to have held a position like that for so long. And it's because she asked this lady where she was from. Now, I grew up in West Yorkshire in a fairly toxically racist environment. We have a heavy Pakistani community in West Yorkshire. Came across to work in the mills and make better lives for themselves. And they've never, on the whole, really integrated with the greater community, which is fine. And you get Pakistani areas, and they seem to quite happily live on their own in those areas. And they run nice little businesses, shops and petrol stations and such things, and they work really hard. And they're a boon to the community. But we call them Pakis, and they call themselves Pakis, and it isn't meant with any slur at all. You go to the shop, it's the Paki shop, and you have a chat with the people in there, and they're absolutely fine. The place I come from, we ended up with two Paki shops, and it was the old Paki shop and the new Paki shop, and everybody was happy with that. But recently, apparently we're not allowed to call them Pakis anymore. I think they still call themselves Pakis, but we're not allowed to because somebody has decided that it is a derogatory term. Rather like calling Jonathan John. Is that derogatory? No, it isn't. It's just a shortening of it. Well, they're my thoughts anyway. So, this lady, we have a transcript provided from memory by the aggressor, who is this lady here. Where are you from? Sister Space. No, where do you come from? We're based in Hackney. Well, neither of those are answers. They're deliberately obtuse answers. And so it goes on and on and on. Now, if you want to dress like something out of the Eddie Murphy film Trading Places, then people will assume that you're an African queen, I'm afraid. And I think it's a perfectly natural question to ask somebody where they're from. And actually, basic hospitality and basic British manners are to show an interest in your guests. Now, as a Yorkshireman living in Scotland, I am constantly asked where I'm from. So I say, where are you from? Dumfries. No, where are you from originally? So I'll say Yorkshire. Oh, whereabouts? And I'll say Wakefield. And so it goes on and on and on like this. No slur intended, just a basic interest. I really do not understand what the problem is here. Now, about this toxic environment in which I grew up, I think a lot of people just didn't understand each other. And people wouldn't work for the Pakistanis because they said, the Pakis never pay you. And the Pakistanis didn't tend to trust you because they thought you were going to try and rip them off. I've actually had one say, "You are ripping me off," said this fella, but it was just a misunderstanding. Now, people used to turn up to my workshop, retailers who'd sell, say, a kitchen, and they would say, I've got this job we'd like you to do, John. It might have been fitting the kitchen. Got this job you'd do. Would you consider taking it? I'm afraid it's for the Pakis. And I used to treat my Pakistani customers just as the white ones. And we always got on just fine. And providing that you provided the goods that you'd sold them and the service that you'd sold them, they kept their part of the bargain. More so than many of the indigenous locals. So if you said you were going to do a job for £750 and you did that job, you got your £750. There was no doubt about it. But what I found was people tried to palm them off with substandard work. Oh, they're only Pakis, they won't know. Oh, they're only Pakis, they'll accept this. Well, they aren't. They're clever people. They've come across the world to try and improve their lives. And they're not willing to put up with being palmed off with these things, and that is fair enough. Now, apparently, Prince William's condemned his godmother for this racist outburst. Is it really racist? Is recognising that somebody is a different colour racist? Or is it just realist? They're a different colour. So what? I really struggle with this. Not long ago, probably not 12 months ago, a very senior and established football manager had to resign for describing black players as players of colour. And now it seems to be the normal handle, a person of colour. In fact, this lady here has described herself as being a person of colour, I believe. Now, if she didn't like the question, instead of giving obtuse answers, all she had to do was say, "I'm from Hackney, but my parents were from the Caribbean. They came here in the 50s. Problem solved. It's all over and done with. And heck, are we really a racist country? We've got an Asian Prime Minister and his wife there on the other page, and I don't remember hearing any uproar about that. Let's just hope the lad does a good job. Well, I for one am sick of this witch hunt, and I think we should be standing up for Lady Susan Hussey rather than condemning her, and I think it's about time the palace stood up for its own instead of kowtowing to any accuser. And it says a lot about Lady Susan that she has apologised, resigned and stepped down. Not a word. Unlike this one. Yes, grab my 15 minutes of fame. Well, look at the state of it. I'm bloody well glad I'm not married to it.